welcome, America. That's right. This is the King Broadcasting Network, streaming live all across this great, great country of ours. This is the Invent America Radio because Invent America invents. And want to welcome all of you to a new, fresh week. A lot going on. Just trying to bring you up to speed because I tell you, it's just warp speed here. What's going on in this industry and our co-host, the inventor lady herself, Rita Crompton, has been very busy the last 3-4 weeks trying to get down this ASD Market Week. This is a huge week for the American inventors, and to go out there within a year and kind of report to this show what's going on when it comes to different inventions. Well, my co-host is finally here. She's probably taking a deep breath. But unfortunately, I don't think she's going to get out of the house because I understand there is a snow blizzard all across this great country. Rita, the inventor lady herself. How you
Hello.
doing, Miss Rita?
We're doing fine. And fortunately, we get to do this on the inside. So, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And, we are watching it. The dogs love it. And so it goes.
Yeah, I tell you, our studio in Greenwich, Connecticut out there, they're like 4 foot of snow right now. And I was, Matt was telling us it's just amazing what's happening. A serious, serious Arctic snowstorm has hit this country. But well, we all inside, we all warm, and God forbid all these homes that are without electrical power. We want to, man, our thoughts and prayers. I wish I had 430, 4 million generators to send you, but unfortunately I don't. So stay warm out there. Cuddle up. That's all you can do. But Rita, like going on, ASD Market Week. It's the headline right now. So tell us about ASD Market Week, what you've been doing with this show, and why it's important to you. Because you got to remember, you have a company, Invent America's show, Invent America, Invent Lady show. Your company. So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, the big thing right now, and it doesn't, ASD Market Week is going to kick off on March 17th, and they don't care if it's snowing or not because it's in Las Vegas. So big show, the largest consumer product show for buyers. All right. And it is open to the consumer, but buyers go in. They want to see what's new. They know what's old. They know what was being sold last year at the show. They want to see the new stuff. So we are the highlight spot for anybody. So, we have been working, getting inventors teed up for it. And all they've got to have is prototypes. All right. Yeah, if they've got product, that's great. But when it comes right down to it, we want prototypes to go and show off, take orders, be able to find licensing options for folks, really be able to get them. Sometimes they're just there with prototypes and they have the opportunity to say, how can I do it better? What can I do differently? And so before they've spent, 20 grand on manufacturing, they get the market research back from the buyers that are going to be reselling their products out there and say, oh, did you think about doing it like this? And they go, aha.
Yeah.
And they get another aha moment of being able to go back and file some additional intellectual property and be able to work then with, some real serious market research.
Well, you hit the nail on the head there. You're displaying your product, you're displaying your technology to strangers, not to family members, because family members don't want to hurt you. Oh, this is great, the greatest thing since apple pie, and well, at the end of the day, the professionals are going to really bring you back down to earth, and that's what ASD Market Week does, right? It just brings you back down to earth, right?
It does. And for a lot of those inventors, sometimes the best information they get is why their product isn't really all new and novel.
Yeah.
And that's really important market research for them. You go out, you pay somebody 15, 20 grand to do market research. They've called a bunch of consumers. They're always going to give you good news because they're going to send you a freaking invoice. So, what we want is you to have eye to eye contact. And at the show, you get it. And people will say, what are your price points? You need to have your packaging done this way. It's awful to go out and
Yeah.
spend 5 grand on packaging just to find out that the stores don't like it and they won't carry it unless you change
Well,
the packaging. Simple stuff.
yeah, and that's the point. Yeah, it's more than just the technology itself, the product that you're displaying to get on them shelves. It's the whole, I call building envelope. It's the whole envelope that has to go. the marketing of it, the packaging of it. Uh, and sometimes this packaging and marketing can cost more than the getting the product to market to manufacture it. Is
Oh, absolutely.
because at
Yeah.
then we got to remember the cost point. That's another thing. You might be ready to go, but your cost point is not there. So you got to figure. I mean, that's the first thing to ask you on. And I hate to mention that show, Shark Tank.
The
But what's
suit.
the first question to ask you?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, how much does it cost?
That's right.
And my answer is always none of your real business. All right. You don't, I'm not going to share that over the air. How much does it cost me to make it? Because then you want to negotiate down the price.
Yeah.
That is proprietary information. And until I have got a non-disclosure signed, I am not going to tell you any of those details.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how expensive the suit is, the shark will still eat you. And that's their first question to devour
Right
you.
off the top. And I can say I will tell you what it is off the air. I will tell you on the break, but I'm not disclosing it to here and have everybody, that listen. And that's the first question to ask you. So I wanted to say it's like, wow, you just it's all downhill from them unless they write you a check. Unless Mark Cuban or somebody like one I was watching the other day, he offered the lady $3 million right on the spot and said, "I want to buy it, your whole company." And that's how good this technology was. And the lady, man, she said no.
Good for her.
She turned down $3 million. Actually,
Good.
turned down $3 million. Said, "I want to
And
buy the whole thing." I forgot what it was, but it had something to do with the health industry or something. But this technology was going to change. She was sitting probably on $150 to $200 million idea, basically what I saw, and he wanted to scoop it up for $3 million. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what they do. They always undercut what it should be. And so, I've had a lot of internet say the first offer I got was the best offer I got,
yeah,
and the first offer I got was an insult. And so you really have
yeah,
to understand your product and what's
yeah.
next, and so that you make good business decisions. And for some folks, it's just they need to hand it off. I always say,
Well, and I
an,
want to.
an invention's like a child. You conceive it, you nurture it, it sucks you dry, you throw it out. And until you throw it out, it's never going to grow up and be big and reach its full potential.
Well, a lot of your inventors, unfortunately, I know I'm going to insult a lot of them, and I don't want to do that because I love them all. But most of your inventors and most of your entrepreneurs, not all of them, are introverts. They're not extroverts. You know what I mean? They just, you know what I mean. You're an extrovert. You're the
Really?
spokesperson.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
yeah. You're an extrovert. But at the end, I'm an extrovert. That's why we get along. We just say the way it is. But the point I'm trying to make is it's more than just developing it, because you have to go from an introvert mentality to an extrovert mentality, because you get the chance to talk to, I've talked to a lot of inventors, and I need to tell you, I was like, at your booth and say, oh my God, they're going to talk to a buyer here, and they're as boring as hell. So it's more, you got to have that communication. So you got to try to, and I know you work with them too to try to get them, them extrovert tendencies out of them, right?
Yep,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. I
Yeah,
know Wendy went to a show with us and she said exactly the same thing. She goes, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, and she gets all dressed up. She
yeah,
looks great, and she goes, and she's introverted. She goes, I am just so nervous about this. And by the time we got done coaching her and showing her and everything, she goes, well, it was a lot of fun. And
yeah.
so, I've had her on the radio a couple of times,
Well,
and she is a lot of fun.
I,
Cool product, really
I,
cool product.
I've witnessed you. I actually witnessed you getting these people out of their shell. I really witnessed it. Like, I met them one time, and then you come back to the next show and there's just a whole different, because you have to coach them. You have to
Yeah.
coach them. They know their product. They got that covered. They got the P's and Q's, but that's not what we're talking about. You're pitching your life savings here, right, Rita? Right?
Absolutely. And it's like I always say, you know your
Yeah.
product better than we do. So I want you there to talk about it.
Yep.
And, we've got videos of people sitting and, looking at their phone and having lunch. And it's like, no, no, no,
All
no. You
right.
got to stand up and engage and talk.
All right, we got to take a short break. We're going to come back here on the King's Broadcasting Network. This is the Invent America show here on Invent America Radio. Don't forget, hour number 3, Made in America, will be live right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. Yay!